Hi, I'm Kurt Nelson, and this is our Child Safety Policies Reminder video. Our child safety policies are very important for two reasons: to keep our kids safe from abuse and to keep our volunteers safe from false accusations. So give me a few minutes of your undivided attention while I review our child safety policy, which, by the way, you can read for yourself by going to nwhills.com, clicking on Children, then CM Volunteers, and Child Safety. If you're watching this video, then you're on the children's ministry team, and part of your responsibilities include preventing child abuse at church or away from church. That means you protect the kids in your classroom while they're in your classroom, but you're also keeping an eye out for any signs of abuse that might be happening to those children outside your classroom. You're one of their shepherds, watching out for their welfare. So what exactly are you looking out for? People usually assume physical abuse. That's obvious. But also emotional abuse. Usually verbal abuse that causes emotional trauma. The recipient of this kind of abuse is told that they're naturally bad, worthless, or unlovable. Or neglect, not providing the child's basic physical needs or providing basic safety measures for the child. Sexual abuse, any form of inappropriate sexual contact or conversations. Forcing a child to watch sexual acts, exposing oneself to a child, etc. The general rule is we're looking out for inappropriate, hurtful activities. And if you're not sure, it's better to report it to me and let me look into it. And if it turns out to be nothing, great. But the rule is always better safe than sorry. So if you suspect any of these types of abuse possibly might be occurring to any child at church, report it immediately to me. I will follow up with a phone call to Child Protective Services and take it from there. Now, while kids are on our church campus or at off-campus events, we also have certain protections in place to make sure that they're kept safe. The first one is child safety screening for everyone who works with children. And if you're on the children's ministry team, it means you've passed this process with flying colors. You completed the written application, passed the criminal background check, your personal references checked out, and you interviewed with me and didn't set off any red flags in person. So now you're child safety certified. And now you can count toward the 2-adult rule, which says that kids are to always be supervised by 2 unrelated child safety certified volunteers. That means from the time children are dropped off until they're picked up, we staff each room with 2 unrelated child safety screened volunteers. So you shouldn't allow children to be dropped off until both adults have arrived to serve. And you must both stay until all the children are picked up. Now there are difficult situations, like sometimes parents just send their kids to the classroom on their own. And say one kid shows up at your classroom, no parents around, and you're the only adult who has arrived. You can't just kick the kid out on their own. In situations like that, we want everything to be as open and safe and above suspicion as possible. So leave your classroom door open, make sure the window blinds are open, make sure you're visible from the door, not hidden behind a counter or something like that. And you can take those same precautions when one teacher has to take kids to the restroom, leaving one teacher alone in the classroom. And according to our policy, children over the age of 5 can be walked to the restroom by a male or female, but children under the age of 5 should be escorted and assisted if needed by a female. Up through preschool, the kids need identification tags for pickup. So when a parent drops their child off, you give them a tag with a number that matches the number on the child's name tag. Then when the parent comes back, they need to turn that tag in to pick up their child. In elementary, you don't need a tag, but children should only be released to their parents. 4th and 5th graders can be excused on their own once church is released if they have written permission from their parents to be released on their own. Now what about hugging the kids in your class? You can hug kids. Side hugs are best, especially for male volunteers. You can give pats on the back, you can hold hands like in a circle for prayer, but just be sensitive to what looks and feels proper. Think if a family was visiting our church for the first time and they didn't know you at all and were observing your class. Would anything give them any pause about the safety of their children? And of course, there will be no physical discipline of any kind. Most discipline problems can be totally avoided by having an exciting, well-planned, fast-moving class lesson plan, using lots of positive reinforcements, etc. That won't eliminate all discipline problems, so you can use timeouts, you can talk to parents about problems after class, you can take a child who's being particularly disruptive into church to sit with his parents, but no physical discipline during Northwest Hills events ever. And if there's an accident in your classroom, like say 2 kids bump heads, fill out an accident report form in the first aid kit and make sure you explain what happened to the parents when they picked their kids up and have them sign the accident report form. And then turn it in with the clipboard. If there's an emergency, call 911 immediately. Okay, this isn't the most fun part of children's ministry, but it's very important. Thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video. May God bless you and your ministry, your classroom, and all the kids you're discipling. You guys are the best.